plane was crashed deliberately. And they also say outrage as families are finally told the news by text messages. And joining me now in the studio is Nicci Roscoe. Nicci is a counsellor, and we're now going to look at the impact this is all having on the families. And we talked there, and a lot's been made about how they relay in this modern age the news, the final news that these people aren't coming home. What do you make the fact that some people had to be told or were told by text message?
Well, first of all, my heart goes out to these families because it's absolutely devastating. And to find out by text message is horrible. It's horrific in any circumstances. Not to be told face to face by somebody is a terrible shock. In fact, as a life coach, I had a client that was told she had terminal cancer and she couldn't get hold of anybody, and so she texted her sister to tell her, and her sister was in the supermarket, and she passed out in the middle of the supermarket. So whatever circumstances it is, whatever, even good news, to have bad news by text is just terrible.
Different people handle grief in different ways, and I think we're all shocked, and I mean we can relate to the way people react with the outpouring of grief, but it's not in a way that you would be used to seeing probably in the West how people would receive it. It doesn't make it wrong, but it is different, isn't it?
Yeah, and as you say, different people react differently, different cultures react differently. So the anger, the devastation of the loss and how they're reacting is just the way that how they're feeling at that moment. Some people are going really quiet, some people are becoming really angry, some people are passing out and being carried out on stretchers. I mean, the shock of it is just causing so many different reactions.
I mean, grief, horrendous for anybody to go through, but the not knowing makes it so much harder and presumably opens you up to even more anger.
Absolutely, because at first they had hope. And when you have hope, when anybody has hope, there's that light, and then all of a sudden everyone's plunged into this darkness, and it's like, oh my goodness, where is that light? What are we going to do? So hopefully, there are bereavement counsellors there to help them, and talking to each other is really going to make a difference and help.
They want to talk to officials. They want officials talking to them. They're looking for someone to blame. I mean, you look at those scenes there. Of course, they're totally distraught. But as Isabel was saying, they want closure. They want answers, and it is more difficult with the lack of information that's coming out. Hence, we see the protests in Beijing, and also when there's a lack of bodies, closure must be very, very difficult.
Because it's humane. It's a human thing to be able to bury and say goodbye to your loved ones. And this way, they're not going to be able to say goodbye at all. They don't know. And the not knowing and the fear and the anxiety of not knowing and the upset, that's what's causing the anger. That's what's causing the frustration. And they need the help to be able to talk to others, to help them and to find that light, to talk about the memories, the good memories of their loved ones, and to not think of the bad memories, because that's what's going to help them to light those candles, to help them feel a little bit better, a little bit calmer, to relax a little bit, to meditate perhaps, to have prayer. So there are all these things that can help them too.
Yeah. Nicci, I know you're also on Twitter. Your Twitter address is?
It's @FabulousImpact.
Okay, and that obviously in terms of people we may have touched on there, but some people today as regards grief and whatever they may want to speak to you at Fabulous Impact as a result of that is Nicci Roscoe. She is a life coach counsellor. Thank you very much indeed for your take on things. John's got the sport after the break. What have you got?
Yeah, thanks, Eamon. We'll be looking ahead to tonight's Manchester derby. Are United on an upward curve, or will City be as unstoppable as last time? And we'll hear from David Beckham on his plans for a new stadium in Miami.
Europe, the big debate. In or out, good or bad, yes or no. It's debate time. Play versus